This is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and I'm now going to present part 4 of the webinar series that's talking about the 2022 submission of property valuations to the Department of Management's valuation system. This particular part is going to just give a brief overview on some of the double checks that you're going to want to run before final submission to the online system. So one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you do, and if you forget this step, you will see an error in the system. But as most counties, pretty much everyone has some sort of TIF activity within their county, you will have to run the process to populate tax rates for estimated TIF revenue. So this is a report that provides the estimated TIF revenue for the TIF areas in your county. The current year TIF rates need to be populated. So within the system, there is a TIF revenue page. When you're logged into it, you'll see the system should populate the current year rates for you because we do have those rates. If for some reason you're not seeing the current year rates, you can then also click the populate rates button at the bottom of the screen. But what this allows you and your TIF user to do is to see a report that would provide the estimated revenue for each and every TIF increment district. So that way there's an opportunity for you and the TIF authority to both be on the same page regarding what their TIF should generate in revenue as an estimate. Obviously, you're using current year rates, and when the TIF is actually processed with the tax process, then at that point you would be using the new budget year rates, which probably would be slightly different in most cases. So anyway, again, populate rates. The system should do that for you, but you can click the button if for some reason it does not. And you would need to enter the TIF rate for any newly created TIF increment district in the valuation year and select save. So keep that in mind as well. So again, this is the TIF area revenue option on your screen on the left-hand navigation. You'll see each and every tax district, increment district only, that you have within your county. The estimated net consolidated tax rate should be listed. And again, that estimated net rate is the total rate minus anything that is a protected rate from being used for TIF revenue. So anybody's debt service and the school, Pebble, and ISL. So again, tax district number, tax district name, increment districts only, and the estimated net consolidated rate to be used to calculate TIF revenue. And it's going to pull from what you upload the taxable value for each and every tax district that's an increment district. So it'll pull that from what you upload, list the current year rate, and then it will calculate an estimated TIF revenue for each and every district based on that information. So again, at the bottom of the page, you see the populate rates button. Again, it should be populated for you, but if for some reason it isn't, just click that button real quick. And if you had added a new TIF as you're working in the system in the 2022 year, you would need to go to your new increment district and enter the net consolidated rate. Errors check, you'll want to make sure to run the errors check before you file your value. If there happened to be an error and you did not run the errors check, the system will not let you file with an error. So of course you always have to run that errors check. And so this is, just an example of what that errors page might look like. Red errors do not allow you to move forward in the system and file. Yellow warnings are just sort of, hey, you better go check this out. Is this okay? Type heads up. Rollback Worksheet is going to look different for you this year. So this is a change I wanted to highlight. The purpose of the rollback worksheet is to take your total 100% value by class that you've submitted, take your taxable value by class in total that you've submitted, and use uh, the budget year rollback number that has been submitted to you and to me by Department of Revenue, and do a calculation on what we would think based on your 100% value, what that taxable value should be. So this number here is the worksheet produced taxable value, and we're going to compare it to what you show as the total taxable value from what you've uploaded. And then in the far right column, we'll see a produced difference over and under. Now these are big numbers. The reason being because I used some 2021 figures here, but I changed the rollback. So that's why you're seeing a big number here. Certainly would be a concern if you saw those types of big numbers. Really, folks, generally you're going to see 3-digit numbers here, maybe a low 4-digit number. That is the result of just rounding differences, because obviously we're doing, the math on the total here. So there might be some differences due to rounding. These types of numbers would make us believe that maybe there's a problem in the data that was submitted. So you're looking for 3-digit numbers, certainly would be okay. Anything lower than that. If you get into 4-digit numbers, you might want to just call me and discuss it. It could be the case for some of our larger counties that you'd get into a 4-digit. But anyway, so that's the purpose of the rollback worksheet. What we need to realize, though, is with the change in the business property tax, again, it went from a credit to a 2-tier assessment limitation. And the assessment limitation itself is not a single number anymore, right? It's no longer 90% on the total value. It is, the residential rollback on the first 150,000, and then the 90% on the remainder. So we can't apply anymore one single rollback figure and do this check anymore on the total. So what you'll see in the rollback worksheet is just for commercial, industrial, and railroad. There's just, this rollback worksheet's just not going to do anything. It's just going to be blank. So really, we're only able to use the rollback worksheet to check our residential and ag, and if utility had any sort of rollback on it. So just keep that in mind. Just a difference with this year moving forward as a result of that 2-tier assessment limitation. With the rollback worksheet, you can open it, you can print it off, you can download it if you want to get a little bit closer look. These types of numbers here is what you are more likely to see, real small numbers due to rounding, and certainly not an issue, not anything you would need to worry about. Some common errors that we do see when folks run that errors check, we see TIF increment taxing districts not assigned to TIF areas. So if you create a new TIF base and increment pair, it's got to be assigned to either an existing TIF area because it's an amendment, say, to an existing TIF area that's already out there and in the system, or you've got to create a new TIF area and assign it to that because it's brand new TIF area for your TIF user. So you can't just leave it out there by itself, and if you do, you will see an error. Also, one of the things we see is we see city ag land in non-city ag taxing districts, or value other than city ag land in city ag taxing districts. A lot of time residential will get in there because we've got say residential property on city ag land, as far as that goes. So just keep in mind these common errors. It is something that is not too infrequent. So if you have these and you have any questions, feel free to contact me, or any other errors that you see when you run your errors check. Again, you can reach me by my phone number or send me an email, and I'll be happy to assist. Thank you.